complex as pajamas. Nice verbals, I said this. Envy, hot since pajamas. Be butter, envy, foreign language. Try to, I said this. To explain how I.
Welcome to.
That's all good.
You're pulling your selfie stick out. Balls.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Welcome to the Deep Language Podcast.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, man. Back at it. We did the motivation video last week. What was it? What? Last week, yeah?
Yeah.
But, man, you know what? I got to say this. It's been the year of the nerds this year. It really did, yo. It's like Revenge of the Nerds because, I mean, we got, starting off, we had the Zack Snyder cut.
Okay.
For Justice League. And then we had WandaVision. We had Godzilla vs. King Kong. Mortal Kombat. Invincible. Falcon and Winter Soldier. We got Loki coming. Man, there's so much going on this year with comic books.
Yeah.
And just nerd stuff. Mm-hmm. Video games. All everything, man. I got Resident Evil 8 coming out next month. Well, nice. No, this month. This month, actually.
Okay.
We're in May, ain't we?
Yeah.
But it's going to be May. Well, no, it is May.
It is May,
Sorry, Justin.
Started.
It has begun.
It has begun!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Just recently finished Invincible today.
Wow.
What a show.
I will say I like the way it started more, even though
it ended weird.
Yeah, it ended kind of weird.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, just the thing is that the violence just got a bit like there's more you can do with a cartoon. So I have to give it that.
You could do so much more with cartoons than you could do with live action.
Yeah.
Like you have so much more freedom with cartoons.
Yeah.
I mean, the violence on it was just over the top.
Yeah, they got a little out of control.
Because the homie Ant, he hit me up. He's like, "You watching Invincible?" I was like, "Nah, not right now." He was like, "No, you gotta watch it." I was like, "All right, cool." So I started watching it. I was like, "All right, what am I watching?" And he was just wait. And I was like, "Okay," because like the voice acting's kind of like flat. Like you could tell, like in the beginning, they seemed like the actors really didn't want to be there. Mm-hmm. At some point, like they were just real like boring, or they had like actors in it. I forgot the dude's name, but he's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Pimento.
Oh, he kind of made it.
Yeah, like
more entertaining.
Like he's just one of those guys that he plays the same guy.
Yeah, that's
he
true.
always plays like the same. So when you hear him voice over as superheroes, it's kind of like, all right, cool.
That's who you would have pictured that character being, though.
I get it. After a while, yeah. After the season started going, and after like a couple episodes, like okay, it's growing on me. But when I first heard him, I was like, who is that? I seen who it was. And I was like, that's just weird because like he always plays the same guy in everything.
What I love about Amazon is you can pause and see who's in the scene.
Great cast.
The song, the music is great. I love the music.
The music was cool.
Yeah, the music was definitely cool. They try to explore the characters a little bit more. They got into all the different characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. And like I said, so I'm watching the first episode, and it gets to the point where Omni-Man is in there. I guess they're called the Guardians of the Globe, which is a horrible name for a superhero team.
Yeah, but the other ones were taken, and they just guarding the globe. So I mean, it's cool.
But he came in and he just tore him up. Like,
what about what was the youth group name? Before that,
teenage something.
Yeah, so that's probably worse.
That is.
It's easily forgettable.
I mean, the names for the heroes were weird. Omni-Man.
I love the names actually. Adam Eve
was kind of cool. Duplicate. Monster Girl.
Monster Girl. That was they
Robot.
That
there was the new Robot.
Yeah, he phoned it in, but y'all gonna find out later on why.
Yeah.
In the season, that's the whole.
That kind of sus how he felt. Like spoiler, like how he fell in love with a little girl.
Yeah,
it's a little sus there.
Not.
Yeah, a little R. Kelly-ish.
Well, no, because you got to remember, she's not that age.
Oh, that's. I guess the monster's her. actual.
They trying to relate to how you know they feel in their bodies, but yet and still they're actually adults.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's a little bit less sus than what's his grill being with the bomb guy. The bomb guy. Yeah, I don't even remember what his name was. They stopped using it. But he was talking to her, but they was like kicking it like friends.
Oh yeah.
But then
yeah.
He's just gonna try and hook up with everybody.
And you had like I said, even the villains, like the one hot, the dude, the black dude with turning like stone.
Now that was a dope angle because that was. I wish they'd expanded on his story.
Yeah, I'm hoping the next season
that was a very good chess move. That was amazing.
Yeah, and that one, like that lion dude, man, like
he's pretty powerful.
He was lighting
I don't understand why they didn't just bring him back
to fight Omni-Man.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
But Omni-Man, he's a cold dude, man. Watch what I watch.
Yeah, he's a very cold guy, man.
Oh man, he said, "I don't
cold
care
and
about
calculated.
your mother. I don't care about you."
She's like a pet.
Yeah, that was that bugged me out. He said she's like a pet. I was like, and she's listening to it. Yeah, on top of that, I was like, yo. I was like, no way.
But he's cold, man, because then in a sense he's being.
But now, like
he's hiding his true intention.
That I feel like we pointed this out, but like that's probably how Superman would be.
Yeah.
If he was a real, person. He's powerful over everything.
Yeah, but the thing is, Superman has morals.
He does.
You're dealing with to an extent. You can see the way the Omni-Man society was. They were moralists.
They were barbarians.
Yeah, they were because they were just about excelling their race.
Yeah.
So in a sense, that's why it doesn't matter to them.
And I mean, I guess their world didn't blow up. I guess their world still exists.
So we got to see what the worst. If you think of our humanity as it is. If it was the worst our humanity could be.
Yeah.
So, like, basically, if...
but not even, like... But what was crazy... But it always goes back to... Because he made good points. It all goes back to Thanos. If when you watch Endgame and you watch Infinity Wars, when he sits there and explains, I'm going to knock out half of the universe... And you're going to flourish. You're going to have more be able to get the medical stuff. You're going to be able to eat. And there's going to be no hunger. There's going to, everything's going to be better.
Yeah, if the weak are eliminated.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a strategy because he was just like, I'm going to take out half of the population.
He's not determined. Omni-Man had he was just like, I'm killing everybody.
But here's the thing. They were looking for the best of the best. Mm-hmm. Thanos is just looking for... Just half.
Yeah, he just wants half.
He's just like the bad divorce.
Because look what he did, and I always say this too, even with Endgame is Thanos sat there and he left Tony Stark and Captain America and Thor, all these guys alive, because he respected them.
Oh, so he did have a strategy.
Yeah, he respected them, but that was a dumb strategy.
Yeah, that's
because then they came back.
So, but who did he? He got rid of Black Panther?
He got rid of he didn't go face to face with Black Panther. So he didn't care.
Oh, he didn't care.
He went face to face with Tony.
It's a racial thing.
Yeah, it's a power thing.
Well, it's a power thing.
It was all a respect thing. Because he said that. He goes, I respect you, Tony. Because he made him lead.
Right.
So it's always a respect thing with Thanos. But with Omni-Man, he was like...
Yeah, he didn't care about Black Panther. He didn't care about Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he didn't face them. I mean, he did kind of face Spider-Man, but he didn't face Spider-Man one-on-one.
I feel like Spider-Man was way more powerful in the comic books.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This Spider-Man is Iron Man Jr.
Yeah.
He might as well be Iron Lad at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping with this new movie coming out in December, that he's actually Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because what I said about Invincible, what I loved about Invincible, and it's what I love about Spider-Man, is that he is a superhero with human issues.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Spider-Man, even now, he can't even afford rent.
Right.
Like stuff like that. He deals with human issues.
Because he's a young boy.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have people that...
He deals with this, and he's a superhero. He could go out his way... And, he could probably rob a bank easily. He could make himself rich easily, but he don't, because he still has morals.
I don't know if I could do that. I'd have to Captain America has morals.
Captain America has morals,
but he's a U.S. He's property of the United States government to some extent.
I mean, but now let's get into. We have to get into Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah. And there's more moral dilemmas in that too.
Yeah, well, because like this is what I even said to my wife. I said, look, what's crazy is Sam Wilson Falcon. He gave the shield to put it in like the Smithsonian or whatever, and then he said, you know, and then they go and they give it to John Walker, which, oh my, I was so. But it was like that shield is not for you to give. Right, you don't own that shield.
Right.
He didn't sign Captain America. Steve Rogers didn't sign the Accords, so he wasn't under the government. That shield was gifted to him by Howard Stark, and then Tony Stark. So you don't own that. You can't make John Walker the next Captain America.
That's just what the government would have done in real life.
They would have done that in real life.
Yeah.
And like I get Falcon's dilemma, like, you know, the whole, you know, they're not going to accept a black Captain America.
Oh yeah, and then spoiler alert, who cares? Sorry, not sorry. Oh, we find out that the government was corrupt.
Yeah. Oh,
big shocker. Big shocker.
Whoa.
They tested a black man.
But what made me, like the Flag Smasher, the Flag Smasher thing, like they're not wrong. You know, these poor people get put. You force these poor people out. They had nothing to do with the blip.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't like her character just because she was the redheaded stepchild, maybe.
Maybe, but I felt for her
but she was a little
like.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, you force these people out. What are they supposed to do? They didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and then what I loved at the end,
like the
spoiler,
continuity of the whole, how it carried over from
when Thanos snapped.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
What I liked was how Sam Wilson came out and he goes, they're like, how do you expect us to do this? What, we're supposed to take out the people that blip back in their homes? And he goes, that's the whole point of being in the government. You make the tough decisions.
Yeah.
And that was like right there, was like that hit the nail on the head.
He's really calling them out. But the problem is, our government is in effect, if you really want to take it back to what, if you look at it like Superman would have been what Omni-Man was, right?
Pretty much.
When you give anyone that much power, they say power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. When people have that power, they become... Their morals, you can't have one or the... You have to,
yeah.
You have to have morals
or
you have power.
Full-blown power,
yeah. You can't really have... And that's what potentially...
I think that's why Sam Wilson won't take the super soldier serum. Because
I would have took that serum.
because
he's nice already.
Yeah, and he's trained, and plus he don't... If he has the power... But the thing is, Steve Rogers have morals.
Steve gave him the shield because he respected him morally. Mm-hmm. And he respected his character.
Even Bucky, he knew... Because a lot of people are like, well, why didn't he give it to Bucky?
Those people that want him to give it to Bucky just don't want Sam to have it.
Yeah, and it's like Bucky is like, you know...
But he was his friend.
Yeah, Steve knows Bucky is troubled. That Bucky is still dealing with his inner demon.
Yeah, but as a friend, though, would you give it to your boy? But then again, he became friends with Sam. He
became close with Sam.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to Sam Wilson. Reason I'm giving it to Sam Wilson is because he's the next generation.
But Sam Wilson doesn't have no powers.
Yeah, but neither did Steve Rogers until he got steroided up.
Yeah.
You know, he got roided up. And that's basically all Steve Rogers is he's a roided up 100-year-old man.
But he started with morals.
He started with good. Well, like if you go back to First Avenger, that the
character.
The German, the Jewish doctor, he said, I don't want to give it to a soldier. I want to give it to a good man, and hopefully this man stays good. Because look, right when John Walker took the serum, he turned into a complete monster. It took him to see, like...
He was a soldier, yeah.
Yeah, it took him to see what Sam Wilson was doing, what Bucky was doing, and he was like, oh, maybe I did take it a step too far. Now he's U.S. agent, but... It's the fact of the matter is, you know, you watched your boy. You're the reason your boy's dead. If you would have simply listened to Winter Soldier and you would have listened to Falcon, your boy would still be alive. You're the reason he's dead because he put him in a situation where he couldn't handle it. But it was a great transition. Now, what made me laugh, if you remember when they first met Isaiah, and the cops pulled him over. You're not going to sit there and tell me you're going to stereotype Falcon. You know he's an Avenger. Like, I watched it. I'm sitting here like, is he bothering you, sir? I'm looking at like.
They didn't know, bro. We all look the same, bro. We all look the same.
He knew
we all look the same.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
An Avenger.
What they should have had, this is probably not possible unless you're doing CGI, or you could do it, but it's going to be a stretch. If the serum, and they kept the serum like to an extent where it didn't cause any, like growth. There was no augmentation, but if the serum was like a growth hormone, you'd be having a bunch of people running around looking
well, you
crazy.
gotta look at Hulk.
Yeah,
Hulk's a product of that.
Yeah,
they added Gamma to it, and Abomination. When he fought Abomination, he was a product of the super soldier serum going AWOL. It went off the charts. But it made me laugh because I'm like, he's an Avenger. You've seen him fighting in Sokovia. You've seen him fighting Well, maybe they might not see him fighting.
We all look the same, bro. Because he's the most generic looking black man you can.
Oh man, I was like, you can really go like, is he bothering you to Bucky? And Bucky's out here, he's taking bodies like it was nothing.
Yeah.
For 100 years or so, whatever it is. So I was like, yo, that's crazy. And again, people go, I don't like that they got political. Comic books were always political. And they always will be.
And if you want to keep it real,
yeah.
I mean, that's what draws people in is the storylines.
Mm-hmm. Because I even just read one book about, it's called the Blue Avenger. Mm-hmm. And Blue Marvel. I'm sorry, Blue Marvel, and it's about a black hero from the '60s, and that the government made him step down because they couldn't accept the black man being his savior, the country. Mm-hmm. I mean, this dude was super strong. He took down a whole alien armada, and he was like, "Oh, I have to stop him." Like he didn't care. And what?
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it's called the Blue Avenger, man. Find it on Kindle because you try to find a regular book like the graphic novel is like $100, and like the first issue of him is like $800.
Rightfully so.
Because nobody really wanted to read it when he first came out. Now that everything's happening, because Reed Richard, Mr. Fantastic, in that book he says, Hank Pym actually goes, that's all in the past, because he was like mad that they like draw him in. He's like, look, I'm a black man, like they don't accept me, and they're like, oh, that's all in the past, da 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 da. And Reed Richard goes, and he made this point, and I always say this to people too. There's always a point I made. He was like, why is it that we, me, you, Tony, Steve Rogers, da da da, why is it that we could go out there and we could fight, and we're Grace, but look at the X-Men. Why can't the X-Men go out their way, go fight without being feared? And they're like, well, they were born with their powers. We weren't. And he goes, well, what's the problem? Well, what's the difference? We still have powers. We still do whatever we do, but they're feared because they're born with what they have. And he was like, well, it's a different word. No, the problem is, he goes, I have kids now that are mutants. They're technically born mutants. So he goes, now I got to look at my kids differently because they're born with their powers. And he was like, he's like, oh, you're right. It was like that's where his mind's at.
The difference is in real life they would have just been like, but. He wouldn't have just had the revelation like, you're right. He would have just continued to argue.
Yeah, and we kept on going. And but what was great about it, like this dude was so like he's super like he freaking.
How did he get his strength, his power?
So he dealt with like some kind of like particle, and he got his power because he was this dude is like he's as strong. I would say like he punched Sentry and knocked him on his back. He almost blew the moon up with just a coin. So like he's like super strong, and he's as smart as like T'Challa and Reed Richards. Like he's like. So he's like super OP. Like he's just ridiculous OP. And he's like, he was knocking dudes out. He was fighting them, and he said, and that's what he said. But the government made him step down and then not only that, black people hated him in the '60s because he wasn't killing off the white people. They're like, oh, you're stepping, and so he's like, you know what, I'm done. He goes, I'm here to do the right thing again, like you said, morals and power. It's like
it's a very delicate balance.
It's a thin line.
Yeah. Because even if you try to be moral and you're powerful, someone's going to try to corrupt you.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
And he said, he also said, what did he say? But like, you know, you look at Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Falcon and Winter Soldier like was the perfect depiction of that, because it was so easily for Sam Wilson to be like, you know what, I'm taking the shield from you. Because that wasn't for them to give you. He could have done that, but he knew in his mind that he felt he didn't deserve the shield, and he just knew they wouldn't accept a black man. He had to get over that. And so I feel like that's what, you know, that was perfect. Now, do I want to see a movie with him like leading it? Depends.
They give him some doggone powers.
It depends. Like, do I want to see a Falcon movie? Like,
I mean,
now it's Marvel doing it, so like, you know, they could probably make it happen.
They can make it happen. I never thought Captain America would be successful.
I mean, he's a lot of people's favorites now.
It's crazy too, because now I can understand why. Mm-hmm. But that was from a played out era. That's like World War.
Well, I mean, like
World
I said,
War II era.
World War II, and then coming up, and that with that, man, it was just like, you know, all these movies that they're setting up, man. It's just I'm just amazed how they can do it. I'm honestly amazed. Like, it blows my mind how these guys could they literally have a 20 movie saga on their belt. Mm. Like, they're all kind of like sequels of one another. They all set up one another, give or take a few, but they all set up one another, and you have this great saga of movies, and you're still going. You're still pushing. I mean, we got Black Widow coming up very soon. We got the Loki show coming up. We got Shang-Chi. We got Spider-Man.
The Immortals or the Eternals.
The Eternals. We have another Guardians on the way, another Thor on the way, another Captain America on the way, a Fantastic Four movie on the way, another Guardians on the way.
They'll do well.
Another Black Panther. It's like, holy crap.
They really won't let nothing stop them either.
They're just going.
We really lost the real, you know.
I mean, they're millenniums away from DC, and I hate to say it. But the DC's problem is they focus too much on Batman and Superman. They have so many heroes. They have the rights to all their heroes, but they focus on Batman and Superman.
Because they can't make good, relevant storylines for the rest of those characters.
I mean, Aquaman was great.
That was a good movie. Wonder Woman
was cool. The first Wonder Woman was cool. I got high hopes for Flash, but again, you got two different Batmans in it, and possibly there's rumors that Christian Bale's coming in. I highly doubt that because he's in Thor 4. You better.
Once you start getting that Marvel money,
once you make that Marvel
money ain't like nothing else.
Yeah, you're done. It's done. It's over. He's not coming back. And like I said, Christian Bale, I don't know how many times a man has to say that he's done with Batman. Like, I don't know how many times he has to say it. Was he good? Yes, but he's done. He's old. He's over it. It's cool that we're getting Michael Keaton back. It's cool that Ben Affleck's coming back. Let that be it. You know, like, let that be just what we need. We don't need Christian Bale. Because what would he do in that movie?
I mean, there's not anything he can't do, really.
Yeah, like, what would he do? Because if you're doing Flashpoint, there's this universe Batman, and you have Flashpoint Batman, which is Thomas Wayne. And it's like, why is he jumping? You know, I get it. Instead of going back in time, he's pretty much jumping Earth to Earth. But it's like, dude, you don't need 3 Batmans in one movie. Two's already too much. Mm-hmm. And it's like, people, I know people are like, but it's so cool that we're getting that.
People can't get enough of a good thing, man.
And it's like, oh, man, like I think too much is too much.
You can never have enough of a good thing.
Too much is too much.
Yeah, it is.
Because WB's doing their thing right now this year. I gotta give it to them. King Kong, Godzilla vs. King Kong was dope. That was hype. And then we got Mortal Kombat. And now Mortal Kombat, that's a mixed bag because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like it. The story sucked. Da 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 da. I don't know why they were wanting an Oscar-worthy movie. Like, it's Mortal Kombat. Like,
it was decent. They managed not to make it as violent as Invincible, but they still kept it within reason.
I mean, Kung Lao had a crazy fatality in there.
Flawless victory.
Yeah.
that crazy fatality. But so, like, for me as a fan of the franchise, I've been a fan of Mortal Kombat since '93, since the first game came out on Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. So, as a fan of the games from then to now, because I still play Mortal Kombat 11, it's a fun movie. I enjoyed it as it was a fun movie. And what I got from it is that it's a giant setup, for what's to come. And people are like, they're like, someone told me, I didn't like how Kung Lao died. Spoiler alert again. But I don't like how Kung Lao died. But the thing is, he dies in the games. He dies by getting his neck snapped by Shao Kahn. So
Raiden, Earthrealm is free. Kung Lao.
Somebody had to take an L. You're not going to take out any of the original 7. I mean, they end up killing Kano, but I don't think he's dead. I don't think Kano's dead. I think he's coming back.
That's odd to imagine, but okay.
Because, I mean, he got stabbed in his laser eye. So that just means possibly the next movie they're going to bring him back and he's going to have the cybernetic eye. Yeah, because I just don't see him being dead. I especially the fact that everybody loved him in the movie.
Yeah, it's all about the money too.
So they're going to bring him back and he's going to be the same old Kano. Then I seen, my one gripe was how this new guy comes in, this Cole Young. Cool character. I would have done him different. I would have made him a different character from the game, but it is what it is. But I didn't like the fact that he killed Goro. Again, spoiler alert, but I don't know why they let him kill Goro. They could have just had him beat Goro and have Shang Tsung teleport Goro back, but they didn't have to kill Goro off.
I mean, hey, you gotta take the good with the bad, like
especially with a new guy, like.
But you just got done saying there's going to be some fatalities.
There's going to be some deaths, man, but I feel like Goro's one of the ones that, like, if he killed Cabal, I would have been okay with it. If he would have killed, trying to think who, Melina, I would have been okay with it.
It's tough, though, to get the right writers.
Yeah, but you could tell that this movie was strictly focused on the fighting and the fatalities. They really didn't care about anything else. Because we got the setup for Johnny Cage. I'm not going to lie, I fanboyed like crazy. I jumped out of the bed and everything because I was so hyped. I was like, yes.
I don't know. I have a tough time with his character because he's the most vain one.
Yeah.
And to me, the star was always, honestly, Liu Kang.
Liu Kang, absolutely. And
they didn't do that with this one.
Have a feeling it's kind of like a Doctor Strange situation where he knew exactly what was going to happen. He knew exactly what's going to go down, and he had to make sure that's what was going to go down to make Cole Young be able to get his powers or whatever they called it, to make sure Sonya Blade got her powers. He knew all the events before the events were happening. People got to remember he's an elder god, So I'm sure something with being an elder god has something where he could see. You know, it was a whole thing about a prophecy. So he was making sure that prophecy happens. So I think he knew everything, that all the events that were going to happen leading up to the tournament. And he knew, because then he, you know, Cole Young gets his powers by getting beat up by Goro. Sonya Blade gets her powers by beating Kano. And then, you know, we had Jax, which honestly for me, just because Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which I know is unspeakable, they had Jax, and the fact that this Jax is actually acting like Jax and not like a douchebag, it was like, that to me was the better character.
The only way out. Major Briggs, Sonya Blade, Shao Kahn will be pleased.
Shao, what? Yo, I take it this ain't something we can talk about. Guess not. Yeah, now what? You barbecued his ass.
Look at this.
Like I said, I think Cole Young's story is done unless they're doing something where he searches like his past and he searches like Scorpion and whatever. I don't think we're done with Scorpion. I don't think we're done with Sub-Zero. I think there's more. Like I said, because the guy that plays Sub-Zero said that if the movie does good, he signed up for 4 more movies.
Okay, only if it does good.
Only if it does good.
Okay.
They just greenlit the sequel.
Okay.
So that means he's going to show up. The movie's going to sell. You could just throw Mortal Kombat up there and give us the biggest piece of crap. It's going to sell. It's going to sell just because of the name. Because look at the Resident Evil movies. Those movies are horrible. Those movies are just
But they tried Mortal Kombat
horrible.
that they trash.
The first one was alright. Mortal Kombat 95 was good. that holds a special place in my
ahead
heart.
of its time.
I mean, the CGI don't hold up. Oh my god, the CGI
It's
is
horrible.
brutal.
Then they had Goro and that.
Goro and that, yeah.
Oh, that was clay, bro.
Yeah, he was getting my child. And you know what's funny with that, from what I hear, was that thing gave him so many problems.
Bro, that was pathetic, bro.
But Johnny Cage, but it made sense because Johnny Cage beat him. But then, you know, you go Annihilation and Johnny Cage gets killed off in the first 30 seconds. Again.
To me, that's what would have happened in real life because Johnny Cage ain't nice.
No,
he's
nice,
just an actor, bro.
Johnny Cage is nice, bro.
He's an actor, bro. He's like,
he is a descendant from a god species, and he's the man.
And he's just, but don't you think that the arrogance would have got to his head and make him, like, overstep and die?
Goro overstepped. He broke $500 glasses.
Okay.
You know, he broke $500 glasses. You don't do that.
Well, then in that case, he overreached because he got too many arms. You know what I'm saying?
But like I said, you know, a fan of the game, being a fan of the game, it's like, you know, Goro was the guy you didn't want to fight. When you're in the arcade playing Mortal Kombat, Goro was the guy you didn't want to fight.
So they killed him off too quick.
They killed him off too quick. I mean, if they're going to bring, like, Kataro and Mataro in, but Mataro's whack, man. He's a freaking centaur. Like, nobody wants to see a horseman. Like,
I don't know.
They tried that with Annihilation. Annihilation was just terrible. Annihilation threw everybody. They're like, you know what? They said, we're going to throw in Smoke. We're going to throw in Cyrax. We're going to throw in Jade. We're going to throw...
They had to do it because they were like, yo, this is probably the last movie we're getting.
Nightwolf, we're throwing in... Oh my god, I could... Who else? Mataro, Shiva,
in real life, you gotta kind of do that because you know a lot of these people are gonna die, so you want to get as many characters as you can because they're gonna get killed off because it's Mortal Kombat. You're not fighting to wound them, bro.
Oh man, but like I said, the first one was good just for the simple fact that it was about the original 7. You had Johnny, you had Liu, you had Sub-Zero. Even though we didn't in the first one, we didn't get the Sub-Zero Scorpion fight that everybody wanted. With this one, we got that. And that fight was incredible.
Get over here!
Well, both of them were the opening and the ending.
Yeah.
They both were incredible fights. And everybody got mad because they were like, oh, his voice didn't sound... When he said, get over here, it didn't sound right. I thought it sounded decent. Like, when he said, get over here in the other movies, it sounded out of place because it was Ed Boon. You know, like, I get it. Yeah, you want to keep it as close as the game as you want, but sometimes just let the actors do it. I thought that was a cool moment. Because he was like, get over here because I want all the smoke. Let's handle this. Like, I came back from hell. I'm whooping your ass. Like,
yeah, he definitely wanted the smoke coming back from hell.
He said, I'm whooping your ass. And then you had Cole Young over here boxing Ice. And that one messed me up. Because, bro,
it was so bad,
his family would have been dead of hypothermia before he even got there.
Bro, I mean, but you got to realize you're not going to be in your right mind. It's his family.
But his family survived.
They did, but he's going to do whatever in his power to save them first. That's his primary concern.
But it was, like I said, it was a fun movie. It's not an Oscar-worthy movie. It's not something I'm like, oh, that deserves all the awards. Was it the best movie I ever saw? No.
It was mediocre.
But it was a fun movie. You know, I hyped up when there was fatalities. You know, when Kong Lao, did the whole Soul Blade thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad movie. It was a good movie. Average good.
Yeah, so what I say is, and I tell you, it was a setup. It was one big setup for like I said, for whatever reason, a lot of these like writers are writing the sequels before they even write the first movie.
Smart.
You know what I mean? And so that's what we gotta look at. The first movie was just one big setup. Like, we didn't even get to the tournament yet.
That's true.
You know, so once we get to the tournament, that's when things are gonna get lit. Mm-hmm. That's when it's gonna be on, and that's when Liu Kang's gonna get his shine. That's when, Sub-Zero's going to get... Well, he's probably going to be Noob Saibot, but we got Kuai Lang, who's his brother... Well, I guess he would be a descendant on here. That's how I would do it anyway. Because I said, if I would have made a Mortal Kombat series, it would have been a universe. So I would have done like a Sonya Blade and a Kano movie and Jax. I would have done Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I would have done Liu Kang and Raiden and Kung Lao. Then I would have done like... one of Johnny Cage's movies, and somehow each movie is them, like there are post-credit scenes, and then the last 3 movies will be the tournaments. And so what I see is they're kind of going in that direction. Just they're throwing everything in one melting pot because they had that beef with Sonya and Kano. They had the whole Jax getting his arm blown off. They had. Liu Kang finding himself. Yeah, it wasn't focused. It wasn't the focus, but you see that. Shang Tsung was kind of weird. That wig was kind of atrocious, bro. Like, that wig was kind of bad. Cabal had me rolling, man. That dude was such a... he said, what is it? The Tara, and he was like, ain't she beautiful? And he was like, yeah, it's the screech that does it for me, bro.
Welcome! The great hunter, Nitara. She is beautiful, isn't she?
Yeah, that screech is a real turn-on.
I was like, yo, he's a nut. He was like, yeah, it was a screech that does it for me. And so, like I said, it's a good movie for what it is. Yes, could it have been better? Of course. But that's what the sequels are for. And that's what I look at. Oh, man. And like...
Not at all.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we're gonna end this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely leave the comments about verses that we all hope that we can see.
Thoughts on Mortal Kombat, thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier, Invincible.
Sure.
Check out Invincible if you haven't on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's probably gonna that's like a sleeper.
I'm not even worried about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That's gonna do well.
Because everybody's jumping on the MCU boat. Mortal Kombat, if you're a video game fan, if you're a fan of the game, a lot of people, even people they said they're a fan of the game, they're like, oh, we didn't like it. Take it for what it is. But check it out. It's on HBO Max. What can it hurt? If you got a Fire Stick, whatever, stream it. I don't condone that, but hey, you do you.
Yup, till next time.
Till next time, man. We'll check you out.
Dissect this. I might move slow, so I'm still beautiful. Bras used to diss me back then, the usual. Frauds usually flip they facts when they crew or grow. Almost packed up the act, quit and grew a fro. You know my movement is to and fro. Don't see if I'm coming or going so loosely. If you're trying to interpret me, can't nobody figure me out with all certainty. Wise up, size up your last options. Concoctions rising up out the pot when we boil slow. No, it's easy, bake a oven versus pressure cooker flow. Let the hookers go, cause they were a distraction. Action led to